Hey guys, it's Tina from Tina English Library Group, and today we are speaking about our last topic. We met on Friday and we were speaking about schools and what they should teach in schools. Now, I promised to you make a small video after every hour meeting and talk about what kind of things we had in our meeting, what kind of topics we were speaking, and also what new words, new expressions I gave you guys, and something that was new to you. So I remind you that we were speaking about schools. Now, I asked you what kind of subjects did you have in school, and what would you change if you could? What was missing? What would you like kids to have in schools nowadays? And you gave me actually 9 points, 9 subjects, 9 things that you would like kids to be taught in schools. And I'll start with the first, which is politeness. So, politeness, savoir vivre, and everything about ethics and how to behave in society, in social circumstances. Second was keep promises. That was important to you. So kids should be taught how to keep promise. Why is it important? And what to do if you actually break a promise, and what should you do? How can you fix it? Not make it, fix it. Okay. Number 3 was truthful. And there we talked about the new word, and this word was white lie. And I told you about what was white lie about. What is it? Now, white lie is something that we use if we want to soften some, I'd say, dialogues or just communication with some kind of person. Of course, there's the small and very thin line between lying and using this white lie thing. You actually are lying when you're using white lie, but it doesn't hurt anyone. It's not bringing any hurt. So, for example, you come home after a long day and your mom or your wife or your husband, whoever is close to you, cooked a dinner and you ate it and you actually didn't like it. So instead of saying, oh my God, what kind of food is this? I can't eat it. We all try to be polite and we all try to soften the situation and say, well, it was pretty good. Thank you. I enjoyed it. We are lying, but if we say truth, it wouldn't change a thing. It doesn't influence our life. It doesn't influence important stuff. So it doesn't get you into deep talking when you're not in the mood of it. Sometimes we are in the mood for deep talk to express ourselves emotionally and very deep about that we don't like the food or stuff or ingredients or whatever, but sometimes it's not necessary. Sometimes you're just too tired to do that, so you cover it up with a white light. It's not hurting too much, but you're actually thinking and remembering about this thin lie. If it is going to hurt you or this person, you better tell the truth. So we were speaking about teaching kids at schools. What is the difference between being truthful and saying white lies? Number 4 was working in the group. Kids are supposed to be taught how to work in the group, but they're not. There is actually a lot of competition going on in schools and a lot of negative emotions connected to that. And kids are not taught that much as you guys said you would like them to be taught at schools. And of course, it depends on school, but generally, we were all agreeing on that. There is a lack of it. We should use some more. Okay, number 5 is judgment. So, judgment on process, not results. You wanted teachers to teach kids to judge each other's results on how this person was behaving the whole year, not just once. How this person was working through the whole year and doing the homework and doing the projects and just being among people and being productive through the whole year, not by just one exam that finishes whole year, right? So that you guys were talking about, and you said it's very important. I do agree with you. I think process is much more important than result, although results are pretty important too. Number 6, don't degrade. We're speaking about humiliation and degrading and saying something bad to a person to belittle them, to make them feel smaller. So don't degrade, don't humiliate people. And that I absolutely agree should be taught in schools on a level from the first grade or from the grade zero. Absolutely. Number 7, be honest. Now, being honest is very close to being truthful, but we were speaking about honest in different contexts, in different meaning. Because in English, we have honest for a couple of meanings in Polish. Here, you guys were saying porządny, being, how do you explain that? Being very good to yourself and to people, and being reliable, I think, probably. Being truthful to yourself, being consequent, right? No judging, no, not being aggressive. So all those things that actually make porządny for you in Polish as a good quality of a person. Number 8 was punishment, and here we got the discussion going on for the whole class, and it was very passionate. I do thank you for that. It was awesome to see you guys get into the conversation and get all in. So punishment. Kids should be taught punishment in schools. Now, attention, attention! Kids should not be punished. They should be taught what is punishment, what ways of punishment there are in the world. Now, I suggested this topic, this subject, to be brought in schools because I think it's very important for kids to know that punishment is not only beating, screaming, degrading, doing all this negative stuff. Punishment actually is a very good way of showing the consequences of something that you did. For example, you misbehaved or did something wrong or didn't do your homework, and there is a consequence with it. With it. And you should take it. You should be brave enough to take it. There's bravery I want kids to be taught. I want them to know that punishment is not something that you're ashamed of, it's not something that you're scared of. And it's not supposed to be with the aggression and, God forbid, physical violence. Punishment is a consequence. It's not connected to the mood of a person who is punishing you. It's not supposed to be. It is connected to the general rules of working and being in society. Let's say I was giving you guys this example where I didn't do my homework at one of the schools that I was studying. I didn't do my homework, or I didn't do some project for my class. My punishment was not that everybody was looking at me as at a bad person or being negative to me, but teacher said, okay, you didn't do this, so now you have to do 2 other projects. And I was like, okay, just give it on. I'm gonna do this. So punishment is not supposed to be negative, is not supposed to be in any way aggression or physical violence or psychological violence, God forbid. It's supposed to be teaching kids consequence of what they're doing or not doing. And that's what I meant when I told you about punishment. And we were speaking about different ways of punishing. And I love that you actually got into the topic of hitting children, of hitting small children that do not understand yet the meaning of words, the meaning of things, right? Of something being forbidden or something being allowed. And you were speaking about impulses, that you have an impulse to smack a child, to hit a child after you stop their behavior. And I was speaking to you that I would prefer you just to stop the behavior, because this impulse to hit is something that comes from a person's, I'd say, past, from a person's childhood, from the way his or her parents did this job with them, right? Were raising them. So hitting is like extra. It's a step forward. It's one step too much. It is okay if you stop a child. Now, if you stop them, they feel the fear. They feel the feeling of not going forward. And that is strong impulse enough to get into their minds as not to do something. And you don't have to hit them. You don't have to beat them. You don't have to hurt them. You don't have to scream at them. Unfortunately, it goes on in the world, and I don't know what can we do about it, except for educating adults how to behave with kids. But of course, we were speaking about this stress, no stress behavior, no stress. Oh gosh, I forgot. What was it? No stress raising kids, right? So you guys were saying a lot of things against it, that people that are growing up this way, they're not actually connected to the word normally, they're not functioning normally, they don't know the consequence between their actions and what is expected of them, and actually the results. So here comes the teaching of consequence. If a person is just not beating, is not enough. Kids should be taught, parents should be taught. And I told you this one thing. If we're supposed to get driving license, if we're supposed to get on the road, get in the one tone of metal and drive it through the road and maybe kill someone, we're supposed to get a license. We're supposed to go on a course and get a driving license. Now, if we're supposed to create a person and drive it through the whole world, through the whole life experience, that we're not supposed to get any licensing, any teaching tools, any nothing. So you guys are, I think you are responsible for that yourself, like by yourself. Nobody will tell you to get a course of parenting before you get kids, but you should think about that yourself. Just see the analogy, right, between driving license and actually getting some information and tools how to raise a child, right? It's very important. So you can go for it. And of course, I absolutely want to put your attention that it is my opinion. I'm not going to make everybody a believer, but it is my opinion. So in my humble opinion, am I a Cho? You know that. Okay, and the last one was tolerance. Number 9 was tolerance. I absolutely agree. We should teach kids tolerance and being very good to each other and actually understanding each other more. Now, new words that you guys caught also, meanwhile we're speaking, was white lie and shortcut. We're speaking about going on shortcuts. So shortcut, skrót. White lie, I can't, there is no word in Polish for this, but you understand the idea. Okay, so this was our class. I really love that you guys came. Who came? Martin Mandry, was nice to see you. Darius Drink, Agata Accordion, Kasia Keyboard, Mariusz Microcomputers, Carolina Cooking, and Marta Music. Guys, I loved seeing you there. It was very good to finally see you after a long break that we had on vacation time. Me, Tina Turner, not Turner as you remember, inviting you for the next class and hope to see you and talk to you about some more interesting and very emotional subjects. Hope to see you next time, and I wish you a very good rest of the week. See ya, bye!